Hello, plannerets, and welcome to today's live stream. It's a continuation of our weekly reset routine. Now, if you join me for the brain dump and reset session yesterday, you'll remember we emptied out everything on our minds, categorized it, and set up a running to do list. And that gave us clarity. So, that was yesterday's live stream. So, if you haven't watched that yet, stay here, go watch that so then it makes more sense what is going to happen today. But what I'll make sure I'll do is that I do cover briefly the things that we did yesterday, so then that way things will make a little bit more sense. So yesterday's brain dump and reset gave us clarity, and now the next step is to actually turn that into a weekly plan with intention and purpose. And if you missed that first live stream, I'll have the link in the description so you can check that out after this live stream and watch that, and then come back and do a brain dump process, which will help set everything for you. So if you are ready, I am ready. Let's go. Okay, if you are new here, well, hello there. My name is Marianne, and I help women feeling overwhelmed, stuck, or burnt out become more clear, calm, and creatively inspired through intentional planning, habit tracking, and joyful self care. So let us say hello to who is here today in the live chat and see who is here nice and early here for me anyway. It is Monday morning, 8th of September here in Sydney, Australia, 5 a.m. Let's have a look at who's here. Hello there, Cindy. Nice to see you, my lovely early bird. I do appreciate you being here. Brenda, hello, lovely to see you again. Thank you so much, my dear friend, for being here. Stefania, hello, nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. Is this your first time here? I think I may have seen your name, and I think I had said your name before, but if it is your first time, thank you so much for joining. And Brenda is ready. Just like me, I am ready as well. And of course, if you are watching on replay, don't forget to say hello as well in the comment section. You know, I love reading your comments and say hello, howdy doody. And if you are enjoying the reset or plan with me session, okay? So I really appreciate you being here. So here's the thing. Doing a brain dump like we did yesterday. And so, for those of you who may be new to brain dumping, check out yesterday's because I go through why it's important, what it does for our brain. It clears and declutters our mind. And then we then categorize everything that we wrote down. So, doing a brain dump, as I said, is, emptying everything that's in there that may, cause stress, anxiety, and overwhelm. But we do not just stop there. Now, what I had done in the past, or what I have read or seen others do, was just to dump it on paper, and then it was left at that. So if we leave it just as writing things on paper and then going off what we had dumped on, a blank piece of paper, we are going to, risk staying in overwhelm. So planning with intention is about taking action. Okay, so it's all well and good. We clear our mind, we've taken everything off our brain and down on paper. But if we are not taking action, then we can get stuck in that overwhelm, those anxious thoughts that swirl around in our head. So that is going to be today's topic, is taking action on what matters most and not letting any of those unfinished tasks, maybe from last week, slip through the cracks, okay? Because I've learned this the hard way in the past. Yes, I've been here before. I think so, yes, because I remember saying your name, again, pronounce my name perfectly. Thank you, Stefania. Thank you so much for coming back and saying hello. Oh, I'm seeing, let me just fix this lovely little, there we go, nice in the middle. Okay, so like I said, in the past, when I did hear about brain dumping, I'd get everything out of my head, put some lovely music on, maybe have my coffee, and then write everything down. But I left it at that. And so, what I've learned from this was, you know, I would start a new week without reviewing my past week. So, I went gung ho, all right, let's go. Here's the things that I've set out I need to do. Write them down in my daily planner, write them down in my weekly spread. But I forgot to go and check the previous week. And so I know Brenda, who's here, who's part of our Plannerettes Inner Circle private membership, we talked about this on one of our weekly sessions, that sometimes we forget to, review the previous week or even the previous months, and then things, slip through the cracks, and then that causes, overwhelm and anxiety. So that's what I'm going to cover today is review last week before we plan the new week. Hello there, Tracy. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. What's going on with my lovely comments? Thank you. Hi, everybody. Nice to see you. Thank you, Tracy. All right. So, and of course, that meant, like I said, important things. If you forget to look at where you've been, what happens sometimes is you get lost. You don't know where you need to go. So it's important that we also do a review, and then, we can then look at our priorities and what matters most right now. Because a lot of times we go, everything matters, it's urgent, everything is important. Yes, but what can we fit into this week, into today, into tomorrow, and just really making sure we are prioritizing. First of all, the most important thing is us. Okay, we got to put time for us. That's self-care, taking break, taking our meals, going for a walk, doing all the things that help our wellness and well-being. Okay, so that is why we're going to start with a review of last week. So if you are planning along with me, do the steps that I am going to do, plan along or review along. And then what we'll do is anything that we may not have completed, we're going to assess it to see if it's something that we are going to migrate or carry over into the new week. All right, so let us do a review. So the first thing I like to do is begin with last week's calendar, weekly spread if you plan on a weekly basis, and daily spread. So I do both, and you will see how I do this. I need to get better at reviewing the step. And this is because I guess when I first started doing the Plan With Me live session, because I had seen everyone else do their Plan With Me, is they set up their weekly pages where, embellishing it and then putting down all the tasks, events, appointments, and the things they need to do for the week. But I don't see enough of reviewing the previous week. Like I do it but I've done it behind the scenes. And then it is you, Brenda, that sort of sparked that idea. Because I've actually never shown my review steps. It's because I thought, well, no one would be interested in me just checking things off. But it's not so much just me checking things off, but it's the step. I can feel hair on my neck that's tickling me. Okay, so let's begin with the calendar. So this is where I'm going to check what's been completed and can be crossed off. So then we don't have to worry about it. What's unfinished and needs migrating or carrying over to the new week, and what's no longer relevant and can just be released, as in, you know what? I thought last week I wanted to do that. Does it still matter this week? Actually, no, I don't need to do it anymore. It's not top of the list, and I'm okay to let it go. So those are the three things we're going to do when we review our previous week. Okay, so if you're planning along with me, go take the same steps. Of course, we may have different planner setup, planner system, but have a look at what you have, and then you can tell me in the live chat or in the comment section if you are watching on replay and goes, yep, I've got a calendar, I've checked all of that, let's get to the next step. Okay, this is a powerful step because it closes loops Okay, and it's the loops, the open loops that create that mental spinning in your head. So if you can imagine, how your computer, if it's, or your laptop, or it's taking a long time to upload or download whatever it's supposed to open up, and you see that little swirling little graphics in the middle of your screen. What happens when there's an open loop, as in it's not finished yet, or you don't know what the outcome is, or you don't know what the next step is, that can take up space in your brain. You may not remember, but you'll be all wondering, what is it that I'm supposed to do? What was it? So a review is a powerful step because it closes the loops and then creates mental clarity. Okay, so I'm going to check my calendar first. So have a look at your calendar. Have a look at the previous week, the row that it's on, and then check each and every day where that has entries and go, did I do that? Has that been done? If it has, cross it off, or you can create little check box if you have written it with check boxes. Okay, so just got here. Let me zoom in a little bit. You can do check boxes, cross it off here. I like to cross it off so then I know, yep, that's happened. I did that. I did that. I did that. It was Susan's birthday, one of my Plannerettes Inner Circle members. So I wanted to make sure I greeted her in the community. Yes, we had a 10 o'clock Zoom, Shopify. So yes, the fee came out of my account. So I can cross that off. It was Father's Day yesterday, so we celebrated that, called my dad. I had the 11 o'clock YouTube brain dump session, and I wrote a newsletter on I think it was Sunday morning. I had scheduled the newsletter to be released. So that is what I do for the calendar. Okay, so have a look at your calendar. Make sure everything you have written down for the previous week you can cross off, or have a look and then see if there's anything that you need to carry over to the new week. Let's hold off first for the things that you haven't completed, because we'll go through the migration step in a second. But I just want you to do the review, having a look. Have I completed it? Do I need to cross it off because it no longer matters for the new week? Or are there things that I still need to address, complete, follow up, and then we'll do the migration in a second. Okay. Hello, Denise. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. How are you? I hope you are well and you are having a great weekend. Thank you so much for joining us in today's plan with me. So we're just at the moment, before we plan for the new week, we are going to review the week before, so then nothing falls through the cracks. So that's the calendar. Now, if you plan on a weekly basis and you have a weekly spread, open up the weekly spread that you have, and we're going to go check off everything that you had written down last week. First, cross off anything that you've completed. Have a look at anything that's incomplete, and we're going to assess whether it's something we're going to carry over, or if there was anything that you had written that you can let go, release, that you don't need to have it take any more space in your new week. All right. So I'm going to go through my weekly spread and go through each and every day and note down. So a lot of them I've completed because I did my little box and crossed it off. Here's one that's incomplete right here. It says Susan's birthday, 3rd of September. Wish her happy birthday tomorrow. Because of course she's in the US, so I had to wait a day, my day, so then it falls on her birthday. I did that. I went and completed that, so I can mark that off as complete. And then the next one, I didn't attend a workshop that was at 12 midnight, so I want to watch that. So that's something that I want to go and migrate forward, as in I want to watch the replay. Okay, I'm just going to put a little sticky note flag normally I would write it down right away in my new week, but because we're doing it step by step, so then you can see my process. I'm just going to put a sticky note flag so I can refer back to it. Did I go to an ECAM workshop? Yes, that's completed. Okay, make sure you're doing this along with me, because if you have your planner open, taking action is what we're doing today, because we are intentionally planning with purpose. But before we plan, we got to review where we've been to see. Also, it's a great opportunity for us to go and see the progress, and we can tick, these little ticks here where we're crossing off or completing the check boxes. These are little dopamine hits that our brain loves to say. It's like our little reward, that job well done. Okay, it creates little bursts of happy bubbles because it's saying, yes, you won, you've completed a task. And it's important that we tally or log these wins, because we need to look for positive and victories, things we're grateful for. So we are training our brain. Okay. Did I do my 10 a.m. Zoom session? Yes, I had that. So I can cross that off. I didn't watch because it was just midnight, was just too, I needed to rest. See, I took a priority that my rest was more important, especially when I know that there is a replay of these workshop videos. Did I go to my 1 o'clock? Yes, I think I woke up for that one. So I can cross that off. And then on Sunday, yesterday, I had our brain dump and weekly reset session here on YouTube. And then I didn't watch Superman. I think I might have missed the boat watching Superman at the cinemas, so I might have to go and buy or rent the thing. But I'll see. So I'll still see if that is available. And I just got to follow up with some stuff on my Plannerets Inner Circle. So here's a little tip for you that I would like you to start doing, or if you have a system that's similar. When you have checked your pages, okay, if you have completed or you have reviewed everything on there, and you no longer have to, you've crossed off everything, you've completed stuff, or you've migrated things to your new week, give yourself a little mark, a little star, all right? So whatever little symbol that's going to signify to you that, hey, Marianne, we no longer need to look at this page, because I like to also review at the end of the month. Okay, we no longer need to look at this page because we've reviewed it already. And then that saves you time from having to go over reading or reviewing your pages over and over again. Now, I will erase that. So I am using a Pilot Friction erasable pen because I haven't migrated those yet, because we're going to do that on the next step. All right, so give me a thumbs up if so far you are following along. First, check your calendar, have a look at the previous week row, cross off everything, or tick or mark everything you've completed. Anything you no longer, the things that you can cross off are maybe some events or appointments that you didn't go to, or you didn't attend. So, and it's not a recurring event. So you can cross that off and say, no longer need to take up space in my calendar, my planner, or in my mind. But then if there's anything you migrate, just hold off and I will tell you what to do with those. Normally I'll do it right away, but I want to do this in a step-by-step manner. The next thing that you need to do is, if and you do plan on a daily spread like I do, so I have my weekly, normally my weekly spread is the time-specific appointments, workshops, meetings, or when bills need to get paid, or special occasions. That's how I use my weekly spread. I know some of you also use your weekly spread as your day planner. So remember, whatever system works for you, you keep doing it because that's how your brain works and how it fits your lifestyle. Tracy says, yes, fantastic, following along. Great. Okay, so let's go to the daily spread. Again, have a look through, read through if there's anything you haven't, completed. I use my Kuretake Zig Clean color dot marker. One end is a soft, round, spongy tip, and then the other is a fine tip. So I use the spongy end to create my little check boxes, or in this case, check circles. But then so funny, I use this circle to make the markings, but I still like the little square check marks. Okay, so however you want to signify to yourself you've completed stuff. And here's that little symbol that I was talking about earlier. Can you see here how I have little star over here and over here? You can put it wherever on the page. You can put it in the corner here, and you can put it in the corner there, wherever it is that will make sense for you. So I know, guess what? Everything on this page I have already reviewed, so I don't need to look at it again. What a great opportunity for me not to waste time reviewing through things over and over again. So I no longer need to do that. I no longer need to review that. Same as here. Here, I have no little star, which means there's things still on this page from Tuesday, 2nd of September, that I need to go and review. So check here, says, look, check, what is this? Corresponding sticky note. So here, look at me, look at my little system. So here's some little systems that I use to save me from writing things over and over again. So here I've got myself a cute little sticky note flag, and it says check the corresponding sticky note flags. So which means I have given myself a little short, little shortcut. There's a sticky note there. Okay, now I get it, okay? So it means there's some things I need to review from the month before. So here, so it's not, it's not urgent, but I don't want to rewrite it again. So what I've done is I've given myself little sticky note flags to review it. So things like, check, I think these are homeworks that I'm supposed to do for my online course. So that it's telling me to check the corresponding sticky note flag and then another corresponding. I think these are just notes that I want to review when I'm creating my, my content or my products. So that's one way that you can remind yourself to go check previous notes. And this is a great way for you not having to try and keep that stored in your head. Okay, so sticky note flags are your friend. Okay, so it's a great opportunity if you're like me. Look, I've got some here, I've got some there, I've got some here. I keep buying them from Daiso. Every time I see them, I'm buying. There's there's more here as well. Okay, so use your sticky little note flags are your friend. And as you can see, these ones what I just looked at in my weekly spread that I'm going to migrate. Okay. So you don't archive your previous month. I do, Tracy, but because it's a new September, it's just the first week, there's still some stuff on there that I want to review before I archive it, because so I only keep 2 months worth in my personal planner. So once I know I've looked at all of these stuff, I didn't want to rewrite it because they're not so much tasks, they're just notes that I've written down that I want to review because I know it's something that's still top of mind. If later on, let's say next week, I still haven't addressed these, I'll rewrite them somewhere else in maybe my list of stuff. So I archive it once I know I've checked everything. So see how there's August, there's my August pages, and there's still stuff on there. What's this one? Like, things that is not top priority, but I don't want to forget about it. And at this stage, because it's still, I've just um, moved on to the new month, I just keep it there. So once I've got, I've reviewed these, I will take these out, and then halfway through September, I'll go print my new set of planner pages for October. So I do archive it, and at the moment, the way I archive these is I just put elastic bands around it, and I put it in one of my IKEA boxes that I've got that Keypacks shelving. So yes, I do archive all my months, and I don't throw them away because I like to review back, and I like to what I call shop my planner spreads. So if I need some ideas, how did I do some planner spreads, and get my own inspiration from my previous planner pages. Okay, so I hold on to it until I no longer need to look at anything on there, and I've checked everything or made little markings like I have done with the little stars. Okay, fantastic question. I love your questions, Tracy. All right, so where were we? Last week. We were last week. Here we were. Okay, so all this, I'll review it again when I start planning for the new week to see if it's something that I can address, or maybe it's just put it somewhere else that's not immediate, that needs immediate attention. All right, so here there's a little star. And here, what is here? Okay, there's a couple of things on here that I want to do for the move over to the new week. Let me just put a sticky note flag to remind me. So reviewing, completed. There's a little star, completed. See how I don't need to look at it anymore because I've checked it either at the end of that day, or maybe I checked it the next day. Okay, so what are these? Pilates full body workout. Well, I didn't do that one, so I'm going to cross that off. Okay, so I didn't do that workout. Did I go to a coffee shop? No, I can cross that off. So I put a little, instead of putting a little complete, I cross it off to say to myself, no longer need to look at it. Or did I get myself outside? No. Okay, so these things I can't take back, or I can't migrate, as in all I need to do is just get outside the next day. Did I finish editing my planner flip through? No, I need to look at that. So, okay, just for the moment, like I don't normally use my sticky note flags when I need to migrate, but I'll go through the migration process in a second. Did I get outside? No. Did I have dinner? Yes. Okay. So go through all your page. Did I do? I didn't watch. So I'll make sure to watch a replay. Miss Pryor, no, I didn't make up my Pilates, and I need to watch my missed 1K. So that one. Okay, let me just note this down for myself, just so then I can come back. No, didn't do any of my Pilates workout. So I can cross that off. Yes, I had dinner. Okay, let me just show you. Since I've completed everything or crossed off anything I no longer need to do, I can put a little star. Okay, that's to say, no need to look at it again, Marianne. We've done it. Yes, tick, 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 a star. And then now we're in this week. Okay, so what did we do just there? In my calendar, I reviewed that week's row. Look through, did I do everything that I needed, that I had written down? If yes, tick or cross it off. If there's anything on there that I no longer need to carry over, let's say I missed, a date or an event that's not recurring, then I can cross that off. And there isn't anything on my calendar that I need to migrate into my new week. I also looked at my weekly spread. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, there's a couple of things here that I didn't do but I would like to carry or migrate over to the new week. So let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you followed along. And if you are writing it down, if I've gone too quick, you know that check your calendar, check your weekly spread, and check your daily spread and any other list that you may have. Okay, so have a look at them and just first tick everything you've completed to give you those dopamine hits. Cross off that you no longer need to carry over, and it doesn't matter. It's not a top priority anymore, or things that you have missed that are not recurring events. Okay, and then once I have done, or let me put this, let's see, I'm going to put a little star on here. I'm going to put a little star at the beginning of the row of the week that I have already checked to say to myself, no need to check that row anymore, Marianne, all done. And then here I haven't completed, so I can't I can't put little stars on the top, okay? Whatever little system, prompts, tricks, hacks that you can give yourself to say, to give you peace of mind that everything on those pages, you no longer have to worry, and then things don't fall through the cracks. You can breathe a little bit better because you are starting to create a system that you can trust. Okay, so that's the important thing. Whatever planner page, whatever planner size, whatever planning system you have, start creating systems because it's all about systems. System, think of it as a recipe. If you are making a cake, right, you've got your ingredients and then you've got the step-by-step process. A lot of the times when you're making a cake, you've got to preheat the oven. And that's one of the first things because you can't preheat the oven right before you put your, cake mixture in. So think of a system that will help guide you each and every week when you're planning. And once you start to trust it, you're going to experiment. You might go, I don't like that. Well, I don't like it this way, or I might try it this way. Remember, it's got to work for the way your brain works and the lifestyle you're in. It's all well and good. I'm showing you my system, but if you go, that doesn't work for me, try something else. And if something doesn't work the first time or, after a while, try something else, okay? Everything that you try, don't think it's a failure or you failed because it didn't work the first time, or, oh, I didn't, I didn't review my last week, all right? So really important. Cindy says, yes, all good. All right, so now what do we do with the things that we didn't complete, but we also still is of a high importance or still matters to us? Before we do that, just like Cindy, make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you're already finding this helpful. Okay, and then so go ahead, give this a thumbs up because of course it really helps more people discover our little planner community. Okay, so let me know actually who does a review of their previous week before they start planning their new week. Let me know, say me in the live chat, or of course if you are watching on replay, say yes, I have a system down pat where I review first before I start planning for the new week, because all you're creating is peace and calm. And then make sure that, because you might be working on your plan for the new week and then, but your mind is still in last week because it's thinking there was something from last week that we were supposed to do. Oh, what is it? And so of course, that's taking up space, taking up your energy, trying to remember something, and you are not fully emerge on your current week because your brain still goes, oh, there was something. What was it, Marianne? And then that causes frustration. Denise says, yes, me, God does a review. Hello, Susan. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. Hey, I was just talking about, you see here, Susan's birthday here, 3rd of September. Yes, I review, sometimes not always. Again, Tracy, I sometimes don't, but then that's actually when I find, oh, I forgot about that. And of course, it causes stress. Go to my husband, why didn't you remind me? And then poor guy goes, don't you have a planner where you you wrote those down? So I try and blame some other people, and so yeah. So Tracy, I don't do this, or I don't review all the time, and a lot of times that's when I'm overwhelmed, I'm stressed out, and so that is where we start creating ourselves a nice foundation to ensure we don't, try to catch our own tail, and like a hamster wheel, trying to get everything sorted. If we set a review first and then plan for the new week, it just that little bit of clarity sometimes. All right, okay. So next step is migrating the task or moving the tasks that we didn't complete, but it still matters to us to do for the new week. So like I said, I would normally just migrate the things right away onto the new week. So but I use my little sticky note flags. So with the unfinished task, I don't always carry them forward automatically. And this is why, reviewing them before we move them to the new week is really important. Ask yourself, is this still important? Does it still align with my priorities? Because look, this is a couple of online workshops, so live workshops that they didn't show up at midnight. Is it still important to me? Yes, it is still important. Now, do I need to watch them this week? For the moment, I have other things on my plate that it's there. I've got a lifetime access to the replays of these workshops. So I need to now go. It's still important for me to watch them because it's part of me creating, business strategy for my content creation. But I already know I have quite a few things on for the week. So this is where you need to ask the question, the things that I didn't do last week, is it important and is it a high priority that I need to action in the new week? So I could easily go, yep, it's important, and then put it in the new week. And guess what? I might put stuff on top of another and then create too many tasks for myself, too much overwhelm. I know it's important, but I don't need to action it next or in the new week because I'm on my Monday right now. So what do I need to do? I need to make sure I still write it down somewhere. Now, I want to make sure that I don't have all these sticky note flags because then these sticky note flags for me are open loops. I need to put it somewhere else that, I know I'm going to review later. So what I can do is maybe here. Okay, so I will put it in my calendar. So on my calendar, so have a look. What page do you have in your planner? Oh, sorry, my little Zoom thing is temperamental. It doesn't go. It goes to zoom in, zoom out. So I know because I check my calendar each and every week, I can trust myself that I will see them there. So because it's me watching the replays is not time or day specific, I won't put it on a particular date, but I will put it on the side of my notes. So here I'm going to put watch replay of 1K workshop. Okay? So now, guess what I do with this page? I can take my sticky note flags. I like to recycle them. So I just stick them somewhere on my desk. So I'll recycle them. So I'm going to put a little arrow mark, or what do they call this? This is a greater than, okay? See how there's the little arrow? I've migrated it, but I'm not migrating it to the new week. I'm just migrating it into a thing to do within the month. All right? So have a look. Whatever unfinished task that you have in your planner right now, ask yourself, is this still important? Does it still align with my priorities? If so, does it need to get done in the new week? If not, put it in your calendar for the third week or the fourth week. Okay? And guess what you have done by moving it forward, but not in the immediate future? You have given yourself breathing space. How many of you, let me know by saying me again, how many of you just move your unfinished task from last week to the new week, but do not review it and do not ask yourself these questions that, yes, I still like to do it, but does it have to get done right now? Or does it have to get done this week? See how you, by just asking simple questions like this, it gives you an opportunity to go, no, not this week, but I would still like to do it. When? At least, by the end of the month, or by the third week, or by the fourth week. And then you put it in those planner pages that fits accordingly. So let me know, when you migrate your incomplete task, are you asking yourself the question of, does it need to get done this week? Now that I have created that's my little migration markers in, I'll do it in the future, I can now go and put little stars to symbolize that I have addressed everything on this page, because I have written it down in another area that I know I'm going to review later on. Not now, all right? So that's my weekly. And then we go through the daily. See, look, because I made little sticky note tabs, I can just go to that area. So this was Tuesday stuff. Continues timestamp on September setup video. Look, it's not the most effective use of my time. I did normally for my live streams, they go for an hour and a half to 2 hours. In the past, I was able to, I could go and put timestamps. So if people wanted to jump ahead of, where I talk about a certain thing, I'll put a timestamp. But you know what? For me at the moment, it's not a top priority. It's that if I can, I will. So you know what? I'm going to cross it off. Okay. It may affect, because on YouTube, satisfaction, viewer satisfaction, it helps grow the channel. And so sometimes long form live streams, people don't watch it, the whole thing on replay. It would be better if you could create timestamps so people can jump to it. For the moment, because I know my capacity and I have other things I would like to address and look at in the new week, that is not of a high priority. If I had the time, I would love to, but that can take me half an hour to do, because I have to watch it, even if I watch it times 2, it's still, I can use that time in more effective and efficient way. See how I'm questioning myself? Is that important? It is, but how important it is based on other things that matter or are of a top priority. Pick Zoom session for September. Yes, I've done that. I have scheduled all our Zoom sessions for our plannerettes in a circle, so I can cross that. Schedule Sunday brain dump on YouTube. Yes, I did that. Okay. Create gratitude trigger, create feelings 5, grounded up. So I've got quite a few things on here. What's this one? Instructions to update, read. Yes, I've done that. And then check plan. Well, I've got sticky note tabs on here. So you know what? I'm just going to go cross that off because I have sticky note flags to remind me. So that's what you do when you go and look at things. So create gratitude, create feelings, da, da, da. So these are 3 things that I need to do because it's part of my membership. So what I'm going to do, when would I like to do that? This is when you start migrating things into your new week. Okay, so here we are Monday. Can't do it that day. I'm filming that day. I think Wednesday. I'm going to do it Wednesday. But here's a little tip. Here's a little tip you can do. Because there's 3 things on here, instead of rewriting it, I'm going to put on here review incomplete tasks from, and then I'll go back, refer to the page, Tuesday the 2nd of the 9th. Okay, so when is this? This is on Wednesday, so I'm going to put a little dot there. So then, because I'm feeling a little bit lazy and I don't want to rewrite it, because that's 3 things, you know. Again, more efficient use of my time. So I'm going to keep that sticky note flag there. I won't put the little star. All right, the next one. So go through everything one by one. Print YouTube and look into Genius links. Okay, there's something that I need to look into, but it's not of a top priority. So who here has seen my list of stuff printable? This is based on David Allen's book, How to Get Things Done. He said for stuff are things that you would like to do in the future, but you don't know when you want to do it, or you don't know the outcome yet. So in order for you not to forget it, write it in a trusted system. So that's why I'll have my list of stuff. Look into Genius link. Okay, so that I think is part of my business strategy there. Okay, so this is my list of stuff that I'll review either once a week or once every 2 weeks to see if there's anything on there that I can address or look into when I'm planning. So list of stuff, this is available in my shop. So it's my list of the things that I want to look at, but I don't know when I want to do it, or I don't know what the outcome is. So it's not of a high priority. I don't need to look at it in the new week or even in the next 2 to 3 weeks. It's just something that, someone had mentioned might be useful in business, but it's not high priority. So instead of doing the forward arrow, I'm going to do backwards, or I think this is the less than symbol, is that just signifies to me I put it on a list of stuff. Print, take your shot book cover. I'm reading this book at the moment. Take your shot. I've nearly finished it. So I want to put that in my books tracker, which is here. Books tracker. No, that's my movies. Books tracker. I want to print the cover of it. So go to Google, save a book, an image, make it to this size and glue it there. So then that way I can have a little tracker of the books I'm reading. So I want to do that. And that's something easy. So I can do that. I can do that today because I've nearly finished the book. So I'm going to go and put that here. Print. Take your shot. Take your shot. Book cover. Book cover. Okay, so I like that because that's part of my my fun things I like to do is making updating my books tracker to because it's anything planner related I love to do. Okay, so Where was that at? Here. So I have moved that forward, and guess what? Everything on this page I have now reviewed, so I can put a little star. Okay, so let's quickly have a look what Tracy says. Oh, Marianne, I visited your website to get the to-do list sheet from yesterday and got a 4 or 4 I got a, oh no. Let me know what planner size do you use, Tracy? And I'll see if I can do the link right in the chat. Let me know what planner size. So it's A5, Happy Planner Classic, or letter, or I think there's some traveler's notebook. All right, so just let me know and I can put the direct link and see if I can do that. Let me see, list of stuff. Let me grab it here for a second. List of stuff. Printable download, there it is. Let me copy that. Copy. Let me know if this works if you click on it. And delete. Let me just write it down so for anyone else that looks at the chat after replay. List of stuff. Printable. Printable. Thank you. Make it pretty, capital letters. Let me know if that works. Let me know if that link in the chat works, Tracy. Okay, so now I can remove the sticky note flag. Okay, and then we've done that. So there's another sticky note flag. What do I need to put in here? Finish editing the A5 planner flip through. Yes, I would like to edit that because my planner flip through videos do quite well. People like looking at, because I love looking at what other people like have on their planner, in their planners. So when will I do that? Not today, not tomorrow, maybe Thursday. Let's put it, Wednesday. I think I can do that Wednesday. So Wednesday, I'm going to put it on here because normally on my daily planner, this column here is for the top priorities. These things that I'm migrating over, they're not top priority, but it's something I would like to do if I have the capacity. Edit A5 planner, flip through video. Okay, so hopefully you're also going through your own previous week and then asking your question, is this a high still matter to me? Is it still top of my priority, or does it align with my priority? Now that I've ticked across everything here, guess what? I can put a little star. And these little stars, again, wonderful little dopamine hits. Watch Miss 1K challenge videos. Well, I had written that here. So I have migrated that for later on in the week. So I have ticked everything. Yes, ticked everything. Guess what? There we go. Another little star. And I think that's it. Apart from this one, where I have told myself on Wednesday, review incomplete tasks from this day. That is what migrating your incomplete tasks from the previous week. It gives you an opportunity to review the things that you didn't complete. Ask the questions, is it still important? Does it still align with my top priority? And do I need to do it next week? If you know, based on your brain dump yesterday, all right, if you did the brain dump with me yesterday, so this was my brain dump page from yesterday, the 7th of September. And then all the things that I needed to do for today, tomorrow, and the week, I had written on my to-do list. I already have running out of space. So I know I've already got a lot of things that I would like to do for the week. So when I'm asking myself anything that I didn't complete from last week, do I need to do it in the new week? Because if you know, based on your brain dump, categorizing and writing down the things you'd like to do for the week, you are now going to go, Well, I'm not putting another thing on my plate. I've already got a lot of things. And see, now this is a great opportunity for you to go, you know what? I used to do that all the time. I keep putting more and more and more and more on my to-do list. And each and every week I'm overwhelmed. I'm stuck. I burn out. I don't have time for self-care. This is when you start to need, start reviewing and changing things. Because what do they say? If you keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome, that's a sign of insanity, right? You need to go and change the way you're doing things if you are not liking the outcome, or if you are feeling overwhelmed each and every week, month after month. You're feeling like you can never breathe because you have so much on your plate. Because something's gonna break. Either you break or you go and break your to-do list in half and go, I'm not doing everything that's on this list. I'm only going to do a little bit. So which is it? Do you want yourself to burn out and then be forced to take a break because you've fallen ill, you're mentally, overwhelmed, or emotionally you cannot regulate yourself anymore, you're losing your temper, you're getting frustrated, you're crying because you feel like you've fallen behind? You need to decide today what is going to break. Is it you or your to-do list? Let's break your to-do list in half. We don't have to get it all done today. We don't have to get it all done this week. We can ask for help, we can delegate, or guess what? You can say no. Okay? If you don't have the confidence or the resilience to say no to some stuff, then this is when you need to go and ask your people, I need help. I can't do this anymore in the same way I've been doing it, because I'm just feeling burnt out. Boss, can you help me if someone can take over? Or can I do, does it need to get done by Wednesday of this week? Okay, we have to stop feeling like we need to multitask, that we need to manage it all, that we need to go, well, if I don't do it, it'll never get done. But what if it doesn't get done? What will happen? Will things, fall to pieces? If yes, then go, all right, well, how can I make sure I don't fall to pieces? Okay. It wasn't giving me the option, but A5. It should be there. What size? What size were you looking at? And I'll see if I can do the actual. What size were you looking in particular, Tracy, for the list of stuff? Okay. So if it's not going to get migrated, it's gone. Just cross it off. Okay. This is what's called intentional filtering. This is going to help prevent your planner from turning into just a never ending to-do list. Hands up who has one of those. Hands up if you cannot keep your to-do list for the week just on one page because you keep adding to it. This, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. Oh yes, I've done a review from last week. I need to also do that this week. Let me know if your to-do list is never ending, that you feel like you keep adding to it over and over again, or you'll have stuff on there that you have looked at, from 2 months ago, from 3 weeks ago. If you still haven't completed it, maybe you have to ask, is it important right now? Okay, so really important. So instead of having an endless to-do list, before you migrate and ask your question, it becomes a purposeful map for your week, because all you're putting for your week, whether it's daily pages or weekly pages, are the things that matter right now. Okay, the things that need to look into right now or this week. Okay, so let me just move this. Where is my weekly? Let me just put that there so I don't flip through over and over again. So let me know, was that helpful when you do a review from the week before? Checking completed stuff, crossing off that no longer matters or aligns with your top priority. And before you move or migrate any incomplete task, you ask yourself and you filter in order to prevent your planner from being just an endless to-do list that you cannot seem to catch up on. Because guess what? More things are going to get added on that list because we cannot plan for everything. There's always going to be things that'll turn up, throughout the week. There's always we cannot anticipate the energy, the emotional, mental, or well-being that we will be on Wednesday. All right, so this is my Wednesday page. I can plan lots of things. I can put this, do 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 this. But what if I wake up maybe not well? Maybe if, then I'll have all these things to do and then I'm going to fall behind. So create breathing space for yourself. Do not overwhelm yourself with too many tasks. Let me know if that was helpful. So that is reviewing your week and migrating things to the new week only if it matters. And this is normally where a lot of us start from. We plan for the new week. Okay, right away, we actually already have a vision visually from yesterday's brain dump. Okay, when we get where's my little funnel diagram. Okay, so before the brain dump, we had everything on our head, blah 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 blah, all mixed in together. We put it down on paper, right? So we brain dumped, we categorized. Color coding makes it visual for you to see exactly what you need to do for today, tomorrow, which was green for me, blue the week. And that's all you need to work on for this week's to-do list. You write it down on one page, all right? So you categorize. And look what's happening. The funnel is getting smaller. That means your focus is, instead of everything, we're only focusing on the today, tomorrow, and the week, which is this list on one page. Crucial. You only put things on one page. And then once you've done that, this is where the planning comes in. And then the planning, again, lowers you down to focusing only on the things for the day. Okay, so on my running to-do list, I had noted down all the things that I needed to do for Sunday, all the things that I said I would like to do for today, and then all the other things peppered throughout the week. Now, it's not the only thing I'm going to do for the week, but at least it's a starting point where it's contained. It's not 2 pages. It's not 3 pages. It's not a list over here or a list over there. Visually, I can see that, okay, it looks like I have a lot to do, but I still have a little bit of breathing room there. All right, so now I actually, the Sunday things here, I had written it down already for Sunday. So this was my Sunday, okay? I had planned already. And as you can see, we've just been doing a review. I had completed them. So let me just show you, just as a little side note, what you do with the to-do list once you've completed it. Well, I'm going to use, this is normally the color I use for Sunday. So what I do is I'm going, okay, you go down the list. I've completed that. I bought that. I got myself outside. Did I do a Pilates workout? No. I was very lazy yesterday. Did I journal? Yes. Did I call my dad? Yes. Did I claim the invoices? Yes. And I talked to my husband about that. Okay. So then all I do with all the things I've completed, that one, and that one, is then I just go and cross off. Again, this is a visual way to tell yourself you are making progress. Okay, you can either work off your to-do list, if this is the way you want to plan, and leave it at that, and not work on a weekly basis or a weekly spread or a daily spread. A running to-do list is also great. I normally use a running to-do list as my where I go to do my tasks, when I'm overwhelmed, when I have no time to plan or embellish my planner pages. Let's say I'm like, I don't have the energy, I don't have the capacity to plan for the week, then I just close the planner on my weekly spread and my daily spread until I can get back into it, and I'll just work off my running to-do list. Because each and every week, or each and every day, each and every week is different. This is where I think a lot of us planners feel guilty when we have, if you bought a nice expensive planner or one of those, dated planners where you can't reuse that date anymore because it's only for September the 1st or September the 2nd, and you look at an empty page and you feel guilty that you didn't complete it. It's staring at you saying, you're not good at planning because you didn't even use the planner that you bought, that you said, promised yourself, I'm going to be good. I'm going to be, planning each and every day. I'm going to use my planner pages every time. You can go close the book, close the planner on pages that you don't use because maybe you're, like I said, maybe you're feeling, overwhelmed. Different things happen on the week. You just don't have the capacity to be planning on a daily page. You don't have the capacity to go and, embellish your planner pages. You know what you do? Let's see. Let's just go. We'll pretend, right? We'll pretend this is that week. Go get yourself a paper clip and just clip the whole thing, and then just work off one list. Boom. Straight away, you've removed things off your to-do list, right? Just because you have a planner, and yes, planning and embellishing is part of self-care, or you can use it as a part of self-care. But if you know you're not up to it, paper clips, or if you have a ring planner, take the whole thing out. And then you don't have to look at blank pages. Okay, so now what we're doing for the plan of the week, because we brain dumped, we wrote it on our running to-do list, I can now put everything that's on my Monday. All right, so let's have a look for my Monday. Let's plan for Monday. Okay, it says get outside. I've got get outside. Do Pilates. Hopefully I do Pilates today. Do follow up. I think I have to follow up. Follow up proposal. Okay. So this is when you start to plan on your actual planner pages once you've done a brain dump and you're running to-do list. Okay, what else do I need to do? Film my 2 podcasts. Film 2 podcasts because I'm trying to batch film, like do more than one at a time. Film 2 podcasts. Okay, and then math lesson. Do I need to do that today? Look, see how here I have put a task for today, but I'm looking at my planner page right now and already have quite a few things. I actually won't do that today. I'm going to erase that. If you don't have an erasable pen, just mark it on the next, maybe on Tuesday instead. Okay, so I moved one of the tasks yesterday that I said I would like to get done today, but now that I'm looking at my plan for today and going, well, that's already a lot of things. No, I can't fit that in because I have to allow for some breathing room, some space. Because let's just say at 3 o'clock, maybe something, oh, Marianne, I need you to do this, or Marianne, can you follow up this, or whatever, because we have to anticipate for the unplanned, and we've got to leave some breathing room. So I have now reviewed myself. Yesterday, I planned on something. Guess what? I can change my mind because I can see that too much on my plate is going to put me in a position that if something turns up, I have to drop a few of these things anyway. So why give myself that pressure to do more? Just because you have space in your planner to add more things on your to-do list does not mean you have to fill it in. You can see from my previous pages, look, I didn't plan the earlier until it was 11, okay? There's some spaces, and this is where stickers, see, stickers and creating big hand lettering prompts, that is a visual way for you to create breathing space, because you're taking up a lot of space, which means you can't write any more to-do lists on those. Okay, so use your stickers. If you have lots of lovely stickers you haven't used, write big positive affirmations so it takes up all that space, and you are not looking at your fingers. Oh, but there's white space there, but I would like to write more things because I can fit more tasks on there. When you know, nah, it's not going to work. Okay, so look, there's some breathing space. So if I need to take notes, I can write that there, or if something else comes up. So my running to-do list is the foundation that I have created from my brain dump yesterday to say, these are the things we would like to do for the week. But a running to-do list is what's called a living list. You can move things around if you don't complete it. You can go and cross things off if you need to add more things on here and you go, uh-oh, that's going to be too much. You can cross things off and go, you know what? That is something I can do the following week. Okay, so let me know if you are getting value from this. Is this all making sense? All right, so then this is when you would normally see me, you know, do the embellishments, do the highlighting. So in the past, you would not have seen me do the review of the previous week because, you know, it's not the sexiest of stuff, you know, glamorous stuff to be on to be showing on YouTube. But then I realized from our Zoom in the Planet's inner circle that, you know, you know what, I've actually never really, I've spoken about reviewing things, but I've never really shown the steps that I take. And if you're like me, who's a visual learner, that you need to see someone else do it for it to click, because you know, sometimes someone says, yeah, review your, you know, your previous weeks, and then, but you know, showing by example is a great way to see how someone else does it, and then you can go and you know, do it your way that will make sense to you. So yeah, normally I would go and 7, 8, 9, is it 8 today? Yep. 10. Yeah, so this is the bit that you would normally see in my plan with me. Okay, the embellishing parts. So there's my week. I'll put let's have a look. Let's make, so what is this? What is it? September. All right, and this is when you would see all the hand lettering. September what? And then I like to do different, September 8th. 8th to the 14th. And then what I like to put on my, what color? Let's do purple. What I like to put on my weekly spread, like I said earlier, Tam. Hi, Tam, the paper and pen girl. Wonderful love. Oh, thank you so much. Is this your first time here? Because this is the first time I've seen you in the live chat. Way, welcome, Tam. I appreciate you saying that it's a wonderful live. Yes, so this is where you would normally see the embellishment and making things pretty and adding, you know, washi tapes. And this is good part of self-care and being mindful. And so if you do find yourself, you know, feeling a little bit overwhelmed, I need to go and charge my Apple Watch. This is when choosing nice washi tapes, choosing, you know, colorful markers, and then, you know, embellishing it. So what I put on my weekly spread is, this is when I look at my calendar. Where is my calendar? See, I've moved all my little divider tabs. Okay, and then I will just, everything from that week, I will go and transfer to the weekly spread. So I normally use my weekly spread as my appointments, you know, more time and day sensitive tasks. So of course, like, and I like to First time on a live, but I have watched your replays before. Oh, thank you, Tam. I appreciate you. I like to divide my what is these called again? Horizontal spreads in half, because my brain works better when all my dots are lined up. So I just divide the spot in half, and this is when I go and use my color dot marker. Monday, oopsie, and this is where a friction erasable pen comes in handy, because if you make a mistake, you can erase as you go. Friday. So let me just show you how I use my weekly. So some people use their weekly as their planner, like as in their day-to-day planner. I use mine for the known dates. YouTube Live. Okay, and then at Friday at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. is the Zoom session for our Plannerets membership. Pick Zoom meeting, and then my internet and mobile phone bill gets taken out of our account. Optus bill due. So I just want to, I put when bills are due, so to ensure that I have, money in the funds that direct debit comes out of. 11 a.m. So brain dump. So in my Plannerets Inner Circle membership, we do a brain dump every week. So we do it together. So then that way, plus weekly reset, because doing these sort of things together and having someone do it along with you. So it's called, proximity. And I need to send out my newsletter. Proximity, by having co-working sessions with others or planning sessions with others is a great way to help motivate you do it rather than having to try and do it yourself. Excellent. Okay, let's have a look. Hi, Tamara. Long time no see. You still do morning lives? Yes, I do. Tuesday at 8 a.m. Oh, I have to have a look and stop by. Excellent. Thank you, Tam. Yes, I'll go check out the channel. Okay. So then I have done all of that. And then the other thing is I will look down on the side of my calendar to see if there's anything that I have noted that I would like to do in the month that wasn't day specific. Get pants taken up. Yes, I need to go and get my pants. I was trying to go and do it myself. I've got the sewing machine, but it's been on my to-do list month in, month out, and so I've given up. I'm going to take it to the tailors and get them to do it. So I'm going to go and take myself outside and do that. So get pants taken up. See, this is when you delegate it to someone else. Maths lesson, I think that's when I said we'll do that on the Tuesday. So I'll look at my running to-do list. Excellent. Okay, so that's how I use my weekly spread. All the known things from my calendar, I will migrate it onto this week. So then I'm not looking at my calendar for the week. All I'm looking at is my weekly. And then from my weekly, I go for my daily page. So this one, I'm already doing my 5 a.m. YouTube live stream. And then after that, I'm going to have my breakfast. I like to do my daily pages one day at a time, because I like to leave things for me to do, like embellishing, stamping, putting stickers, doing my self-care reminders as I go. Because then if I embellish it all through the beginning of the week, then I have nothing to look forward to do to set up. So let me know if you do that as well. Or do you set up your weekly, all of it, embellish your planner pages right from the start? Or do you leave a little bit of something for you to do later on in the week? Okay, so the other thing that I also have for my weekly spread, I won't do it on camera, but the other thing that I will embellish is my mood log. Okay, so this is part of the personal planner bundle printable. Let me see if that is in the, yep, I'll pop that in the chat right now, the link. So it's got planner pages enough for the whole month. I've sort of like doing, what do they call it? The Frankenstein, whatever the Franklin, whatever bits and pieces. So I've taken bits of pieces of my personal size planner bundle and bits and pieces of my A5 planner bundle, and then so I like to have, because I have the space for an A5 and room for a personal planner as well to put aside. I thought I would go and break up the two. So in my personal, I have my mood log. So I write down how I feel, why I feel this way, and what I can do to make myself feel better, and gratitude spot there. So all I do with this is I'll put the date range, color the side, the little heading, and then write down how I feel each day. And then the other one here is my Franklin plan. Irene, you're my best friend with my every time I get my my brain fog. Irene is here to help jog my memory with all these different things that I butcher the different names. And then this is my Franklin planner. Yes, thank you, Denise, as well. This is my well-being planner spread. So I have different habits and routines that I would like to action based on the 7 key areas of focus on Zig Ziglar's Wheel of Life. So, spiritual, family or home, career, physical, mental, social, and finance. And so each time that I complete them each day, I mark them down. And then this little Wheel of Life pie chart is based on how well I did with the habits from the previous week. So it just gives a nice visual of how I did. So let me show you how I fill that in. Okay, so this is the new week. Okay, so I'll fill this in again off camera, but let me show you how I fill this in. So this is the Wheel of Life from last week. So September 1st to the 7th. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit so you can, oh no, sorry, because you need to see this. And then I grab my zebra mild liners. I love how colorful your monthly spread is. I can only add color once I'm ready to pay attention to the task or it distracts me. Yes, so see how I love this, Tam, that you have just shown how we need to plan based on how our brain works. Like for me as well, Tam, I love seeing other people's planner pages, those that have monochromatic spreads and then the neutral colors, and I like mine to be like that. I tried it, but the way my brain works is I love boom, explosion of color, because I'm such a visual person. Is like, I don't know whether it's because, I sometimes can get low thoughts, get down on myself, that the bright colors is something that will spark the joy for me, right? Because that's how my brain works. So see how here, Tam, the paper and pen girl, she works a different way on how she plans. So you have to find a way that works well for you. You can try new things, get inspired by how others embellish their planner pages. Try it. I've tried different ways where I've just kept to one color. And for me, it's like, I need more color. For me, my eyes, they look too washed out, even though I love looking at other people's beautiful monotone, there's just earthy colors. It's just, yeah, that's not how my brain works. So I love that how we can appreciate how other people plan and embellish their planner pages, but if it doesn't work to the lifestyle, or the season we're in, or yes, how your brain functions, then it's not going to work for you. But it's always good to experiment and see, because sometimes you go, oh, I like this actually, I might try it that way. So let me show you how I would normally fill in the a wheel of life pie chart. So this is the new week spread. I've just taken this one out so you can see. So what I do is I have a look at how well I did with the habits and routines that I have set for myself. These are small, doable habits and routines. Okay, so nothing too like half an hour or hours worth. A lot of them is just a few minutes. So, and then the wheel has 7 different pies, and each pie has 7 little segments to symbolize the 7 days of the week. So this is not a score, this is not a test. All it is it gives me a visual indication so I can see right away which area of my life did I not didn't complete the habits and routines that I set for myself. And it's not a failure that I only did 2 days of something. It just says, okay, Marianne, is that still of a high priority for you in the new week? If so, let's make that a top priority. So me filling in the wheel of life, like I said, it's not a score, it's not a test, it's not you're a bad person, Marianne, because you didn't do the habits and routines you said you wanted to do to give yourself a nice, well-balanced life. It's just an indication of, you know what, something else took a higher priority that week. But if this week I need to make sure that I do my meditation because I could see how it affected my week last week by not, being mindful, then I need to make sure I make it a top priority. So let's have a look. Meditation. So I'm going to color. I have my little color coding. I did it 4 times. So I color 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 segments of the pie. Okay. And then the next one is, whoops, sorry, I knocked the camera. 5-minute tidy up. So that this is, looking after my environment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because your environment affects your mood. Okay, because our brain is always trying to look for order, because in the brain, if it knows there's order and things are in their place, it reads that as no threat. Everything's okay. There's nothing to stress over. I actioned all my top priorities. A lot of my top priorities has things to do with either my getting myself physical movement or actioning my content creation. And then let's have a look. Did I do a Pilates workout? Oh, I only did 1. I was supposed to do 3. Well, this last week I was catching up, was do 4. But look, I needed to rest. My rest, yes, over the weekend was more important. Did I read or learn? I did 4 days a week. 1, 2, 3. I did 4. I read my book or I did my online course 4 out of the 7 days. What's next? Did I connect with loved ones? Did I text? Did I call? Did I FaceTime? Yes, I did 6 days out of the 7. So see how, based on Zig Ziglar's Wheel of Life, okay, it's not about being 100% perfect and doing it all at the same time. Did I track my expenses? Yes, because it's a new habit that I've picked up again. I've fallen off the wagon tracking our expenses, which means, of course, I haven't been keeping an eye on the different budget we need for each budget category. And so, I need to make sure that I'm reviewing that. So based on how well I did with my habits and routines in the 7 key areas of focus from last week. Visually, I can see that I only did 1 day of Pilates when I said, look, I'd like to do 3 to 4. So that's going to be of a high priority this week. Okay, so what's my top priority? Do Pilates workout. Okay, so if I'm saying to myself, Marianne, you said, you want to fit into your clothes, you want to make sure you're looking after your health, and a top priority is movement, and you've um, uh, said that you'd like to do 3 workouts for a week, then that's a top priority. So by writing down your top priority, keeps it top of mind. Well, I would like to finish my book. Well, actually, I finished my book. I finished reading my Take Your Shot. So as you can see, it is how to grow your business, attract more clients, and make more money. We love to all make more money. Okay, so I'll make sure to pop that in the description for my Amazon affiliate link. So that one, for that one, I would like to finish reading my other book, which is Lean Learning. So this one here, I won through eCam workshop. So this is by Pat Flynn. So he's like a YouTuber, and he talks about you don't have to know everything about something for you to make a start. You just got to know what you need to know for that little bit, if it's 10%, to make the first step. Because I have fallen into the trap of I need to know everything before I make a start on anything. Because if I don't know everything, what if I make a mistake? People may laugh at me. What if I fail? Fear of failure, all these things. So Lean Learning is a good book. And then I've got this little bookmark here that that turns with the page as you read through. And so that I've got that there. And so I got it for my learning priority is read Lean Learning. Let's see, 3 to 5 days, 3 to 5 days per week. Okay, and what else can I look at? And everything else is pretty good. Well, this, meditation, I want to make sure, because I didn't do my meditation, as you can see here, over the weekend. And guess what? Mum lost her temper. Yes, I was screaming through the roof. Poor neighbors are probably going, what's wrong with that lady next door? Right? So what I've found is when I don't do my meditation first thing in the morning, where I've, breathe in and set the good intention for the day, I find myself, my emotions not regulated, and I can lose it, I can go from 0 to 100 with my temper. So really important. Hi, Carrie. Perhaps Frankenplan, inspired by Frankenstein. Yes, I first saw it used with disc planners years ago. Yes, that's what I like. Frankenplan was because I was trying to figure out, because there's a Franklin Covey or planner. Is that correct? So yeah. All right. So there's the my well-being planner spread. So same thing again, off camera, I'll do the embellishment of the date heading. I'll write down, so it's going to be the same. Meditate in the morning, 5-minute tidy up. Make sure I complete 1, 2, or 3 of my top priorities to make it a win of the day. Do a Pilates workout. I'll probably maybe do 4 this week because I didn't do 2 last week. Learn and read, connect with loved ones, and then track my expenses. So I'll make sure to copy that. So that's part of my planning. Okay, so mood log, my well-being. You saw me do my weekly spread. Where's my weekly spread? Okay, let me start putting back my little clear divided tabs. So these clear divided tabs I made using laminated sheets. I do have a how-to video on how to make them from laminated, or if you don't have a laminating machine, you can just use envelope clear envelopes, and yeah, there, those clear envelopes. Okay, let me just pop that there. So then I just, yeah, cut it to size with a tab and then use my label maker to create the labels. And then we have our Monday to-do list based on the brain dump. Where is my brain dump from yesterday? Brain dump. So let me know who hasn't downloaded my Calm and Clear starter kit. In it, you'll get the free brain dump guide, the brain dump trigger list, the grid paper blank, not the to-do list, and then you will also get a self-care, 25 self-care ideas bingo card. So let me pop that in the chat right now. So that is a freebie. Yes, you get all these lovely freebies from me because I want to help us set ourselves for a good planning with purpose and planning with intention. Because so back in February of 2023, so I had been homeschooling my younger son. I have two boys, an 18 and a 16-year-old. My younger son, who's 16, is on the autism spectrum. Back in 2019, we were having, challenging behaviors at school. So he was in a mainstream school, but in a support class. And so, we were getting, my husband was the one who would get the call that, he's having a difficult time, or he's done something, he's wrecked something. And so, we just didn't want our son to be going through his day-to-day, just, feeling like he's being boxed in, because they have to isolate him, from the other class members if he's not, if he's having challenging moments. And then so we decided in May of 2019 to go and homeschool him. And so I've never homeschooled anybody before. I know that I can teach, as in, like, I'm good at learning stuff myself, but I've never had to do it myself. And so from 2019 to end of 2022, so it's at 19, 20, 21, 4 years of homeschooling my lovely young boy, I had burnt out. And so February of 2023, I actually mentally broke down. I was losing it. And I don't want anyone to be in that position. If we can find ways that we can help ourselves in a day-to-day, oh, so I'm losing my, that's probably because I need breakfast. Day-to-day activities like planning, meditation, whatever it is that, and putting ourselves on top of the list. Because I wasn't putting myself on top of the list, because I thought, well, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I have to homeschool, that's my main job, right? And so I had forgotten to look after myself. And it's important that we look after ourselves, because if we are not in a good position where we're burnt out, we're overwhelmed, we're stressed, we're having anxious thoughts, we're having low thoughts, we're having low moods, then we are in no position to care and help others. And that's where the breakdown will come, whether it's emotionally, physically, or mentally. So little things like this, like being intentional with your planning, not putting too much on your to-do list, keeping it manageable, because we know things are going to turn up that's unexpected. We won't know what our energy level will be in a couple of days. We may be good right now. I've had my energy level, at a top level at the beginning of the day, and then by 12 o'clock, I'm spent. So it's important that we are putting intention and planning our day in a way that's manageable. We're creating space for ourselves. See, look, I take a 20-minute nap, and that's based on one of the self-care ideas from the self-care bingo card. Okay, where is my self-care bingo card? Self-care bingo card, where are you? Okay, so there, take a 20-minute nap. So I'm intentional by writing it down. It's all well and good that we go, yeah, 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 I'll take a break when I find the time. Right? Self-care and taking your break is not a reward. It's not something you do once you've completed something else. It's one of the top things you need to do before everything else. Because what do they say? Oxygen mask on yourself first. You can't pour from an empty cup, right? And I have experienced myself what happens when you don't take a break. You know, you get really low, and things come to your mind that, I wouldn't wish upon others. So whatever you need to do to go and look after yourself. If you only can do one, two, or even just one thing today, first of all, make sure it is something that's for you. And self-care is not just about the manis, the petties, the spa dates and the bubble baths and going shopping. It's about taking 1 minute deep breathing. It's about going to coffee shop. Hey, I went to a coffee shop yesterday. Woohoo! I can go and right. And you know what? This one of my plannerettes in the membership, Susan, has going to make herself a tradition of going to a different cafe either first weekend of the month or the last weekend of the month. And I went, you know what, I'm going to do that too. And because this was yesterday was first weekend of the month, I went to the city and I went to different coffee shop. I got myself a coffee and a almond friand, and I enjoyed just sitting on my own and enjoying me time. So you can just find little pockets of time in the day where you are intentionally taking a break for yourself, because these little breaks all add up, and you are training your brain to go, hey, we haven't taken a break today, and we are important. Because if we don't take a break, we break down, we cry, we get frustrated, we scream, we self-doubt pops in. We think that we're no good. We start to compare ourselves to others. We have this imposter syndrome and all the different things that go through our minds that swirl over and over again. Hi, Mary Ellie, how are you? I made it to watch you live, and I'm so happy you are here. I appreciate you being here. Okay, so planning this way, okay, with focus, with clarity. So let me just, whether you're using an A5, whether you're using a planner or Franklin planning, right? Planning this way with clarity and focus helps keep you grounded, okay? It reduces your decision making, and it reduces decision fatigue, because when you're in the moment and you are feeling overwhelmed, your brain actually, the decision making part, the cognitive part of your brain shuts down, because it says we are in survival mode. We're either here to fight something, to run away from something, or to freeze so we don't get noticed. Okay, so our brain actually, stress is good because stress keeps us on our toes, right? So a little bit of stress is good because it keeps us aware of our environment. It keeps us aware of anything that might be a threat. But what happens is when you're tired, the amygdala, that part of your brain, the fight, flight, or freeze, can get hijacked, and it can cause stress that may not be real. So then what it does is it shuts your decision making. And so if you haven't planned intentionally, or you have long list of to-dos and then you just go over and over and think, oh my God, I'm never going to get through this list, it's going to cause you decision fatigue. And then, but when you plan intentionally with purpose, it gives you energy for the things that matter most. So if you know what, I don't need to do that today, don't do it today. Okay, so this is where your running to-do list is helpful. So you do a brain dump. If you didn't watch the brain dump yesterday, make sure you go back and do that. It helps categorize and puts in order all the things that was once in your head down on paper, and you only need to look at things for today, tomorrow, or the week. Nothing else. Don't look at anything from the following week. And then you review your previous week to make sure nothing falls through the crack. And then you plan your day as you go. All right. So how are you feeling? Let me know how this feels. And then, like I said, all the details will be in the description below. And then now I am actually narrowing down my planner inserts that's going to be available in my shop, because I use A5 and personal planning, and I have made planner printables for other sizes. But when I talk about, remember how I talk about focus? Okay, this is how your brain dump and categorizing your to-do list and then planning your day with intention. That creates focus, right? That's a funnel. So it's like you putting your blinkers on, and it's the same way when it comes to my planner printables. I just get a few bits and pieces of sales for other planner sizes because, of course, I'm not showing that. But so what I have done is I have created a last chance sale of my printable download. So all A5 and non-personal size printables. So that's your letter, Happy Planner Classic, and Traveler's Notebook. No code needed. All you got to do is add it to your cart, and then once it's in the cart, then you will have the 30% discount applied automatically. Now this is only going to be available until 5 a.m. tomorrow, Australian Eastern Standard Time, so just less than 24 hours. Then after that, I will be removing them from the store, because I need to do my own focus, because then if and when I do create future printable, what I've done is, because I'm trying to create for all other planner sizes as well, but like I said, I only will get a few sales here and there. I am going to be spreading myself thin, and so I'm not putting into action what I share with you, and about keep your focus on 1 to 2 things, because you'll be more effective and more efficient that way. So if you have been thinking about grabbing your favorite planner printables in those sizes, either Happy Planner Classic, Letter, or Travelers, now is truly your last chance, because I will retire them as of tomorrow, 5 a.m. my time. All right, so here's the big picture. Review your last week's task so nothing slips through. Migrate or move things over, any incomplete tasks, to the new week, only the things that matter. Don't carry any clutter forward, because that contributes to the overwhelm, and then that will contribute to the long, never-ending list. And place your top priorities, like your self-care, into your daily and weekly planner spread with intention. Plan with purpose. Don't just write because it's the thing to do or you have space in your planner. Okay, so that's the flow that will take you from the brain dump that we did yesterday and turn it into actionable weekly plan. So I want to ask you, I would love to hear from you. When you migrate your task, are you carrying everything forward, or are you filtering it ruthlessly and asking the question, does it matter right now or for the week? And does it still align with my top priorities? Let me know in the chat, or if you are watching on replay, type it in the comments. When you are moving your incomplete tasks from last week or last month, are you being ruthless about it and filtering and asking the important question, does it matter to me right now? I'm not saying that you forget it altogether, but does it need to get done today or this week? Because if it doesn't, do not carry it along with you and burden you when you don't need to look at it until next week, okay? So If you found this live stream helpful, please don't forget to hit the like button. If you haven't yet subscribed, I'd love for you to subscribe and hit that bell so then you get notified of when I upload podcasts, when I go on my live stream, and when I, post shorts as well. And make sure to share this with a planner friend who'd love to join us here. And remember, less than 24 hours to go with the my last chance 30% off sale of non-A5 and non-personal size planner inserts. It at mariannecresp.com, or you can check the link below. And of course, if you missed yesterday's brain dump and weekly reset, that is also in the link in the description. So if you're going, what's this brain dump all about that Marianne's talking, that helps me narrow the focus down into a funnel, go and check that, because I put a timer on the screen, so do it along with us. And the replay of those who were there with us yesterday, you can catch that replay after this video. So really great. Cindy says ruthless. She is ruthless when it comes to migrating tasks, the incomplete task, to the new week. I love it, Cindy. Yes, and so it's really important. If you keep putting more on your to-do list and still feel like you're overwhelmed, something's got to change, right? And the last thing I want is for you to be the one that breaks, because it's not a nice feeling to have a mental breakdown. I don't like it. It makes me sad. It makes me sad for myself that I got to that point. I don't want you to get to that point. You shouldn't get to a point where you are feeling hopeless and helpless when, look, if you have done all this planning and you have taken care of yourself and you're doing all the good stuff for your wellness and your well-being, and you're still in a position of overwhelm, then I highly recommend seeking professional help. I have gone to therapists in the past, and it's such a wonderful thing, because if you're sick physically, you go visit a doctor, right? If emotionally or mentally you are not well after doing all the good stuff, that planning with purpose and self-care and being mindful, if that's not helping, then asking for help is actually a strong trait. It means that you know your capacity and you are still in a good mental frame of mind to know that you can't do it by yourself. So really important. Let's quickly have a look at the chat. Okay, let me see. Do you do the plan with me every weekend? Yes, for you, Tracy, I'm assuming you're in the US. My Monday live here, 5 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. And I think for those of you in the US, it's either your afternoon or your late evening. Yes, I do. Unless, of course, I'm gone. I need a break, So yes, I do plan every weekend or my Monday. Azalea says, I have a future and someday maybe list. I review this list every week and schedule them if the time has come for them to get it done. I love that. Yes, I do. Let me see if I can go back. Where is my little desk? Where's my little desk? Where's my little desk? Okay, let me just take that off. That's not my little desk, Marianne. Let's go back into the little desk. The desk view. Okay, so yes, I have my list of stuff. So these are based on David Allen's How to Get Things Done. So I have my list of stuff for any stuff. You see it says stuff are those things that you don't know when to do them yet, or you don't know the outcome. So a list of stuff so then I don't forget. Again, a trusted system. I have a projects list. So if there's any task, a projects according to David Allen is anything that has more than one actionable task. So as soon as it's 2 actionable tasks, he considers that a project, and breaking it down, because a lot of our procrastination comes in where the task we put on our list is too huge, and so we don't know exactly where to start. So breaking it down. And then yes, as Azalea said, I also have my someday maybe list. So I need to go. I don't have anything on there because I need to go and move things from previous my previous list, because I've moved from different things over here. So this was, look at my list of stuff. And so once or twice once a week or once every 2 weeks, I go, like as Elia does, review it. And then I do have a video on how I use my list of stuff. So I'll make sure to pop that in there, categorize all these things, so it's easier for me to go, is there anything on this category, so which pink is me stuff, that I can do this week, or for YouTube stuff, or anything like that. So I love that. Yes, have a trusted system where you can go and review and see, is there anything on there that I need to do. So I've talked about quickly. Oops. I've got my music going. I'm chasing dreams, I'm chasing light. I picked the wrong. I picked the wrong. Picked the wrong scene. Okay, so thank you so much. I think we've done nearly 2 hours. I go on and on so much now because I love your questions and I love your comments, and these are the opportunities for me to share. Remember, this is how I plan. I hope it gives you ideas and inspirations to try, and then of course tweak it in a way that works for you, and then that way you can start finding your own rhythm, your own system that you can start to trust and go, right, every week these are the things that I need to do to ensure I'm laying a nice, solid foundation for me for the week, so nothing slips through the crack. I don't put too much pressure on myself, or I don't keep everything in my head where it can swirl and gather momentum, especially those negative thoughts. So thank you for planning with me today. Here's to creating clarity, energy, and intention for your week ahead. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for spending your precious moment with me, and make sure you are looking after yourself, okay? The more tasks you have, the more breaks you need. And the breaks and self-care needs to be on top of your list. I will see you all in the comment section. See you next time. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Okay, let's go. I'm chasing